All right, everybody. This is the last day of Vloguary. Are you happy? You sad? Are you like indifferent? You not really care at all about like any of that? I don't know. Oh, I had a day, and where everyone's just getting online. So today, I just like the last day of Vloguary. 31 days of just nonstop daily vlogs. It was a lot of fun. It was a chore. It was definitely an experience, so one that I'm really glad that I did. So today is just all about answering questions. If you have questions, if you have ideas, you have anything you want to talk about, I've got some questions that I've been taking from people beforehand. So bring it on. Just drop them up in the comments, and we will kind of get through them. So as people are more and more people are starting to join, and I just barely made it. I just got back to the rig maybe about a half hour ago and trying to get all this stuff together. And we went down into Mexico today. And we went down to Los Algodones, and it was, hey, Jason, howdy from Texas. I'm heading your way soon, in April, I think. But we went down to Algodones today, and it was just, it was fun, it was fine, but there's just, all it is like we were waiting in line to get back into the U.S. and that was something that really threw us for a loop because the line was like 2 hours to get into the U.S. and only like 2 seconds to get into Mexico. Like we actually walked into Mexico, like, and we went, "Are we there yet? Is this Mexico?" And because you just walk through a door. That's it. You know, a little swingy little door, and you just walk in, and you're like, "Whoa, is that it?" But like trying to get into the United States, it was ridiculous. It was 2 hours. We just weren't prepared for that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I might have to start this live stream from the car as I'm driving back to the rig. Fortunately, didn't need to do that. We worked out. It worked out okay. Sorry, I'm still. So I am trying to use this new software that I'm trying to test out for RV living. I'm sorry, for what's the thing called? RV dreaming and full time freedom week, and still trying to learn all of the buttons there. Hi, Casey, checking in from Long Beach, Anaheim, and rainy coastal Texas. I don't know if I've ever received so much kind of not hate mail or messages or anything about the time where I posted when I was it was sunny and warm everywhere, and I was like, what's the weather like where you are? And everyone's like, oh, it's cold, it's freezing, it's ridiculous. Yeah, we don't have any of that. We don't have any of those problems at all. Hey, thanks, Linda. So, anyways, today is just all about you guys answering questions, anything that you may have seen or heard as we did this series. You know, the whole point that I tried to make Vloguary is just more of a daily vlog. Most of the comments I get are, "What's it like living on the road?" And sometimes, you know, when you just do one video, you only show a little bit. Like, you know, you do a video a week or something, and you're not really showing what the day to day life is like. And I decided to do this in January because I knew that I had a lot of stuff going on in January. So, starting with New Year's in Quartzsite, going up through Needles, going to the annual bash, and then I just knew that I had a lot of activity in January. And my challenge was, am I going to have time to be able to put out a video every day on top of all the stuff that's going on? And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. Let's just make it happen. And that's what I decided to do. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hello from Maryland. It's late for you guys. It's 8 o'clock over there or something, right? So yeah. Hey, hello, Steve from Mississippi. Cheers to you. Oh, here. So I'm in Arizona, right? Well, no, I'm in California right now. It's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock Arizona time, which is pretty much what I've been on. It's just California time, so it's happy hour. So I hope you guys join me in a drink. Oh, let me show you something. When I was in Mexico earlier today, I didn't, you know, there's like, have you ever been to Los Algodones? It's just pharmacy next to a dental place, next to opticians, you know, and all that. And I was like, I just wanted to go in for lunch and have some fun and have a drink or two or something like that. But I felt like if I went back into the United States and they go, you know, what are you bringing back? And I say nothing. I feel like I would have drawn some suspicion. So I don't know anything about You know, I'm more of a wine person or a whiskey person, but I picked up this tequila. I don't know if you guys know anything about it, but I figured I'd try it here on the live stream in a little bit. So if you guys have a drink, you can cheers with me because that will be fun. So we'll give that a try. So drop your comments or drop your questions in the comments below. We definitely want to hear from you. What do you guys want to talk about? Again, there's no real set thing on this. I do have a couple shout outs I want to give out. And one of them, where did it go? One of them, this guy's name is Liam, and I forget where he's from. I think he's from Chicago, Illinois. In this last video I did about the 12-month expense thing, they actually did the math, and they found out that I had an error in the Simply Safe. $35 or $25 a month times 12 months does not equal whatever it said it equaled, like 180. That was actually more. So I got him a little Claim the Vision keychain, so I'm sending this out. And then everyone else that played the game that we did during Vloguary, where I put it in the descriptions, if you put in the secret word potato or you did something else like that, we have your keychains going out. I know I said I was going to get them out last week, but there's no post office out here. I haven't been anywhere really where there's, you know, a post office. I was in Yuma for a couple of days, but Yuma was filled with laundry runs and just other stuff. So, all right. So we get some questions coming in. So come on and bring them in here. What's the scariest thing that happened to you or in your last year of travel? Scariest? There's scary comes in like a couple different forms, right? There's scary as in like, oh my gosh, my life is in danger, and then there's scary like, oh crap, I just did something. And I think the worst thing that I did that scared me the most, like, oh crap, I just broke my RV, was when it was in Sequoia National Park. I had just started. So I started in January. This was in March. And I'd really only traveled to like 3 different places. So I started out in Southern California, and then I moved north to Sequoia National Park before I moved on to like Reno when I started. And when I was going through Sequoia, I missed my campground exit. And so I tried to make this really tight U-turn in a really narrow road, and my tow bar got connected under the fender, so to speak, over by the hot water heater of the rig. And as I was making this tight turn and straightening out, I just heard this pop because that back panel just went poof. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And so fortunately it wasn't bad, but that scary part was like, oh, like what did I just do? I thought I just broke it. I thought, you know, I've only been on the road a month and I'm already going to have my rig in the shop for a couple weeks or a couple months or whatever. That definitely was scary. There's other scary moments that I've had where you just not scary again, like, oh my gosh, somebody's outside and they're going to come and, you know, do whatever, but scary, like uncomfortable. I think that's a good way to say it. And I'm kind of getting one of those feelings, you know, right now as I'm looking at planning my 2022. You just feel uncomfortable when you're going somewhere where you're not going with any destination, you're not going with a group of people, you're just going and you don't know what's going to happen. That level of uncertainty is it's scary. You know, it's just uncomfortable, but you have to push through it. I look now back, and when I started my journey in 2021, I started out in Southern California, went to Sequoia, then Reno, Nevada to visit friends, and then I headed east through Salt Lake City, Provo, and all this other areas, and then cut through down to Provo, then through the Colorado, and then in July is when I met up with the Escapers group for the first rally. That was the 4th of July event. And that one there was kind of that eye-opening where you first start to make that connection, and then where are you going, what are you doing? And then all of a sudden you say, hey, come with us. They said, come with us to Wyoming. So I changed my entire plan, and then you camp out there, and then there's another group that was going to Rock Springs, and then there was another group that was going to the, what do you call it? The Tetons, the Grand Tetons in Idaho. And so all of a sudden now you start traveling with people, and there's a certain comfort level with that I got just traveling with this group. And so now as I'm embarking in March, I'm starting to I have tickets to Memphis in May. So we got the VIP passes to the Beale Street Music Festival, which will be great. And then there's a barbecue competition, like an international barbecue competition going on as part of Memphis in May that we're going to. So between here and there, I'm kind of doing what I did before. We're just going to Dallas, going to Houston, stopping off and seeing friends along the way. But you know, it's just solo travel. It's just one of those. It's just that unnerving element again, that thing. I don't know if that's scary, but it just is. Sometimes it's just unsettling. Oh yeah. I'll try this in just a bit. I'm finishing my wine right now, but yeah, that looks good. Michael Cox from Sacramento. Is that the same one? We've been talking about Alaska for 2023, so that would be a lot of fun if you're still up for that sometime. But thanks for checking in. Get demerits for being late. We don't like that kind of stuff. What are some unexpected things you had to buy when you first bought the Super C that you thought should have come with the rig? Leveling jacks. Those little yellow blocks, maybe, I thought should come with it. Let's see, what else? Water hoses, adapters, clamps, surge protectors, the whole thing. This thing came with nothing. And it's funny because when I picked it up, I had to fly to Iowa. But I'm not bringing sheets and pillows and all that with me. So I had to order it and have it shipped to Iowa to the dealership. So I had it there. I wish that they had some of that other kinds of stuff. Even like sewer hoses. They don't even include any of that necessity stuff. And when I'm flying out and trying to travel to go through all that, come on. I just spent like hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s. The least you can do, is throw in a sewer hose or something, or a water hose. So that was like, I just wish, but I expected that. I knew that wasn't part of it. Unexpected buys? I don't know. Unexpected buys. Let me think about that one, and I'll see if I can get back to you on that, because I think that's a good question. Unexpected buys. I don't know. Maybe I planned it and I thought about it. Unexpected buys, like I know I had my GPS I had to buy. I knew I had. I bought things to stop the dishes from rattling a lot. I bought like holders in there. Let me get back to you, Jason. I know that's a great question. I need to think about that for a second. Hi, Mary. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. I know it's late over there. And Michigan, everyone's checking in. From Southern California, my hometown. What part of Southern California are you in? Oh, okay. Just call me out. Thanks. Appreciate that. Favorite place and worst place to visit? Worst place, New Mexico. I cut my trip short in New Mexico because it was just, and more specifically, Las Vegas, New Mexico. I thought I was going to really enjoy that park, or that place. It was a state campground in New Mexico. I had this waterfront site right there, and I thought I was going to have a great time over there, but the town was depressed. The people were mean. It was just ridiculous. But the sights and the views and everything were just gorgeous. But it was just such a depressing area that I just couldn't, I couldn't stay. I think I cut that trip short maybe like 2 days. And I said, let me just push on. I went into Colorado. And speaking of favorite place, Colorado has got to be definitely my favorite place that I visited this entire time. I stayed in like 5 or 6 different places when I was there, and I'm already making plans this summer to go back, because Steamboat Springs, I drove through when I had that detour. That definitely is a place I want to go back to. I had a great time in Denver and in Breckenridge. I never made it to even like the Vail, Colorado. I never made it to some of these other places. I stayed in Three Rivers, Colorado, which was fantastic. That was a really nice riverfront campground and full hookups. No, they didn't have sewer, but they had water and power. And that was just gorgeous. Like, you can hear at the night, the weather was cool. And this is in the summer, and the weather was just cool. You can open up your windows. You hear the water flowing right out your window. There's people fishing. It was a really nice spot. And there was another one in Colorado, in Newcastle, Colorado, that I had as part of that detour, where I got another riverfront campsite. And that was a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting to stay there. But it was a nice spot where I actually extended my stay. So I was only planning on being there one day, but it was such a nice place and the roads were still closed. I said, let me see if I can stay a couple extra days, see if the site's available. And they were like, yeah, you're more than welcome to stay. So that's what I did. That was nice. So there's that. Oh, all right. We're talking about 2023. So, Mike, here's a question that I have for you. Maybe you can answer it. A bunch of us are talking about Arizona, or I'm talking about Alaska for 2023. But a lot of people, like I'm in a 40-foot C, Super C, towing a Jeep. And a lot of people that are talking about going are in 40, 45-foot fifth wheels, hauling two big dually, trucks and stuff. And we talked about, they said you need to downsize. Like you can't take that big of a rig through Canada up to Alaska and go anywhere fun. Like you need a 4x4. So they're talking about renting either a smaller rig or doing something. Is that something that we need to do to go into Mexico? I don't know if that's a thing yet or not. So let me know. Considered hosting a meetup. There is someone that in one of the comments when I don't know if you saw it, where I said I don't post anything that happens at night because nothing good happens, at night. And one of the comments was like, oh, come on, you got to show us some of that 4 a.m. karaoke that you guys are doing. And then I'm like, no, it's just not happening. I said, if you want to see that, you're going to have to come to like an event. Maybe come to like an escaper event or like something where some of that kind of stuff is going. I said, or maybe we'll just do something, So I'm open to the idea. Coordinating it sounds like it'll be a chore, but I definitely have considered something like that. I was going to do a meetup as part of a larger RV group in Quartzsite at the RV tent show, but I ended up leaving there early. Oh, well, not early. I was there for like 11 days or something, so that's a long time. But I missed it by a day. I just was like, I'm kind of done with the dust and the rocks and the no internet. It was I had to get out of there and just kind of bail out into something a little something. So, but if you guys want to do a meetup, just make some suggestions. My plan for now is I'm kind of hovering around Southern California and Southern Arizona. I'm taking care of some business back in Long Beach. I don't know when that's going to finalize, but maybe in the next week or two. I'm going to be back in that area. And then I'm going to the Escapers Tucson Convergence, and that's the first week of March. So if you guys want to do that, I think there's like a few spots left, maybe 4 or 5 spots that are left for that. And then after that, I'm heading east. I'm getting, going through Texas on my way to, where am I going? Memphis in May. And then to Nashville. And then once I hit Nashville in like end of May or June, I don't really have any plans after that. So we're trying to coordinate what's going on over there. So that's what it is. But a meetup, I'm all for if you guys want to do it. We just got to figure out a time and a place to do it. I don't know if you can see this. I've talked about this. My phone always rings with potential. They just hung up. Potential spam. Oh, I actually answered it on accident. Potential spam. Why? If it's potential spam, it is spam. Just send it to voicemail. Too many plastic bins? You can never have too many plastic bins. Not only because are they useful and effective all the time, but they break. And sometimes they just, I don't know. You can never have too many plastic bins. So let's see. I'm throwing these up on the screen, by the way, without reading them. So give me a second. How's the rig when you're parked with wind? Over the years, I still get nervous with the wind. You definitely do some rattling. You can definitely feel, even with the stabilizers. As a general rule of thumb for me, when the wind kind of hits 25 to 30 miles an hour, and you can really feel, I bring the slides in because I have the slide toppers that go on top of it. And I've heard stories that they just start flapping in the wind and then they'll rip. And when you retract the slide, then everything gets caught up and everything, and it's just like a disaster. So you have to end up cutting it and getting it all replaced. So I if it gets bad, I just bring the slides in for a little bit and then extend them out when the wind is done. But it can get windy and it can get rocky. Never to the point where I think I'm going to tip over or anything like that. But you can definitely hear it and you can definitely feel it. But I don't think it's ever like a danger. If I'm not scared that something's going to happen. If that's what you mean. And if I were afraid of anything, in a windstorm, it'd be someone's patio furniture or chairs flipping through the wind and then crashes up on the side of the rig and scratches the paint or something. Or that's kind of the bigger thing that I would worry about in the rain, as opposed to, or I'm sorry, in the wind, as opposed to like, you know, unless you're talking about like a tornado, and that, you know, all bets are off, you know, in that kind of thing. Oh, Corona, cool. Inland, hey, everyone's around here. Hello from Cheyenne, Wyoming, place I didn't make it to when I was up in Rock Springs. It was on my list. It just unfortunately didn't happen. How far east? So I kind of just covered that. I'm going through California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, all the way to Memphis and Nashville, and then after that, I don't know. There's the Escapers Convergence this year again is in Salida, Colorado. So that means in like mid-June, I'd have 2 weeks to haul way back over to Colorado. But my thing is, I'm already way over there, and I don't want to go back because they're talking about doing Halloween in New Orleans. So then I'd have to come all the way back on the other side of the country, and I'd just rather kind of stay over there because it's so much effort to get to that side of the country. I kind of want to take more of it in. So once I get through Memphis and May and all that and Nashville, I don't want to go east still because that'll be June and July in Florida. It's going to be hot and humid and nasty. So I'm thinking about going north through to like maybe Chicago or something, and doing something up there. But I do not have it. I do not have it planned out yet. But have ideas, you know. Let's let me know. What am I missing? I know I'm missing a lot, so it's okay. I may have done something with those gummy bears. Okay, so here we go. Mike, by the way, knows all the stuff about Alaska. He was a tour guide up there a long time ago, so he's my Alaska guru. And some of the cooler places on sketchy roads, swimming bigger rigs would be butt puckering. Interesting words. So I would love to do like just go get an overlander, like a 4x4 or something like that, and downgrade into a van or something like that to go up there and to get into those really cooler places. Because the work or the experience, I think, would be fun to be able to get up into something like that. And because it's not a forever kind of thing, I mean, I would do it. I think it would be fun. Ferry, I don't know anything about a ferry. And I know it definitely is not going to be fitting the rigs that we have. So that's probably definitely not an option here. Texas, maybe. I got a lot of time in Texas. I mean, I don't have anything going on. I just have some friends. I am going to, I'm looking into this right now. I know I'm going to be going to Houston to visit some friends. And then I'm thinking about stopping off in Livingston, Texas, which is where the Escapees headquarters is. And doing some volunteer work maybe for a week or so with the CARE group over there, and just kind of learning a little more about their operations. So maybe we do something up in that area. We just find a little boondocking spot. There's a lake up there and stuff, or I don't know. You guys tell me, you know. Hey, from LA. Oh, by the way, LA, they just launched this. I was going to do a video on this, and a friend like double dog dare me, so I just don't know. But they just launched this program for homeless people who are living in their RVs. They dedicated like I think $3 million for this pilot project, and so they created this safe parking zone in city-owned property where homeless people who live in their RVs can go and park there for free. And then I guess they were complaining that they weren't safe, so they hired security, and then they wanted full hookups, and then the city banned propane, but they're propane tanks, so now the city's providing they're providing mechanics for free. So I was like, I wonder if I could take my rig, pull into one of these lots, and get free hookups, free sewer and water, free RV maintenance and repairs, just for pulling in, because it's for people who live in their cars, people who live in their RVs, and well, so do I. Not homeless though, but I mean, well, technically, I guess maybe. But I was like, I wonder if I could do that. So I went online to look at the requirements because you have to register. The only requirements are you have to have a valid California driver's license, and your rig has to be moving. Like, it has to get to the lot under its own power. You can't be towed in unless it's fifth wheel or something. But yeah, it has to be get under its own power, I think. So I was like, huh. But nobody's doing it. That's the thing. Nobody's taking advantage of it from what I heard. So Utah is. I did some stuff in Utah. I don't have it on my agenda right now to stay at, but maybe when I swing back through, there are some places that I missed that I want to go back to, like Arches. But Utah is definitely a nice spot. Hey, Sutton, actually, I was actually thinking about calling you because my plans changed, and I'm sitting around here. I can't find any space to stay at in February in Arizona. So I was like, I wonder if I go north up to where you are, if you're still up there. I know the weather's a little different up there, and it's probably not as high demand as it is out here in the Phoenix area. So I was going to hit you up earlier today, but I got stuck in Mexico. Oh, yes, the cats do go outside. Well, no. One has no interest in going outside at all, Izzy. But the other one, Camden, I've been taking him outside more and more now. So I'll just carry him and take him outside and bring him around. Everyone wants to pet him and stuff. But they don't go outside on their own. They don't go outside on a leash. They'll go outside if I'm here holding them or got them secured. But when we were at the dunes on Saturday, I brought the cat out, and it was warm. It was a nice day. He just sat in my lap and took in the sun, and he was fine. It was great. And then a razor went by, like all this, and then his entire fur just like poof, and that was the end of him. We just brought him inside and whatever. Their ages are 3 and 4 years old, so they have been on the road with me since the start as well. They never had a really nice car experience beforehand, but they adapted. I did a video about when I brought the cats into the rig, and I brought them to the rig, and we were there for about 10 days, I think, or maybe 2 weeks, just so they can get used to the RV. And then it was like a 2-hour drive, and then longer and longer. And now, a year later, they're fine. There's no issues with them at all. So right now I'm at the Buttercup Sand Dunes in Winter Haven, California. It's probably about 15 or 20 miles west of Yuma. Is where we're at. That's where we spend time. Or my friends who have the ATVs and stuff, they always come out here. So that's where we're at right now. Yes. So in my perfect world, which I don't think it would happen, we talked about Alaska. I would love to, like February, March, or April, go up through Canada to Alaska, do some stuff over there, and then head east through Canada, get to the Northeast, get to New Hampshire and that area for the fall colors, and then head south to Florida for the winter. Kind of just do that whole loop, but I don't know if that's even possible. I don't even know how long I can stay in Canada. I don't even know if that's an option, but it would be like a nice idea, a nice thing to do. So, hey, you made it. All right. From Arizona checking in. That's where I'm at right now too. Yeah, Jason, you mentioned that. I might stop by there. We'll look at some of the free campsites that are out there. Where is your visit around Alaska? Skagway? To the less great little town, the ferry is the only way to get to the small town. I see. This is the thing. If you're gonna go do this, you've got to go like all in, right? You've got to just go and do it, because you don't want to get all the way up there and say, oh no, it's too far, it was too hard. Like, just go for it, because you're probably not going to get another chance to really do it. Exactly. Just try it. Just think. You should go Montana, visit Glacier National Park. I don't know if I'm trying to think Montana on the map. Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, it could swing around. I was like, where is Montana? It's not in the southeast. That's something else. Oh, this try it. You're talking about LA. You're talking about the whole LA thing. I think it'd make for an interesting video, but I don't know. I think I might get some some nasty looks. Yeah, and exactly. This is really designed for homeless living in their RVs, trying to give them a safe spot, like something that the city's really trying to do to help them, and to have a bunch of rigs like this show up. I think it would turn some heads. So, is the Class C staying cool in the summer? Well, yes and no. So a couple things about that. There's a shade that I always keep down, and whenever possible, I never will point like that front side into the direct sunlight. Like right here when we're boondocking, I always take the sun into account, like what's the weather, where's the sun heading, and I definitely don't like the afternoon sun on the driver's side because I have all those windows. So I always try and make it so that the afternoon sun is either going to be on the passenger side of the rig or in the far back where I don't have any windows, and that's ideal. Is if I can face my nose east and the back of the rig west, I don't get any of that direct sunlight, and it just makes it so much better. But it does get hot. So things that I've done is I'll close the curtains so that way it keeps all the hot air up front. And it really doesn't affect the back living space at all. But when you go in there, there's a big difference. You can definitely tell that those curtains and those blankets and stuff are working. So that's what I do on that. Hey, thank you for checking in. Chipper's Island Adventure. Are you guys a RV park, or what's the Island Adventures? You do waters and boatings and stuff like that? So. Oh, hey guys. Yeah. I mean, I've had no issues with mine. It's been a nice treat, but you know, every rig is different. So I just always tell people you have to do a really thorough PDI, and you can't be in a hurry. PDI is a pre-delivery inspection. These guys, the dealers just try and rush you right through everything, and you really have to say, no, wait, time out. I'm taking my time here. You go through every system when you're hooked up to power, and you go through every system when you're just boondocking with just on the inverter, and you do it through every system again when you're running the generator, because sometimes things work when they're hooked up to power, and sometimes they don't work when you're running your generator. So you have to go through your rig just top to bottom, and don't let them rush you through the system. And if you can do that, you can find the problems and can fix them there for you. But a lot of times the dealers will say, oh, that's a warranty issue, we'll just get you through it, and then we'll schedule an appointment for you to come back. Two things. A, appointments take forever right now. So your nearest appointment might be 3, 4, 5 months or something. And I was like, no, fix it now. You know, and that's the only leverage that you really have. You say, I'm not taking delivery of this thing until it's running, or until this is fixed, especially if it's a big deal. You know, you just can't let them push you around like that. So as long as you have a good PDI, and even some people, even on new rigs, will still have it inspected, because there are some things that you may not find that, you know, is going on. So I don't know if you need to do that. I've heard people do it, and you know, if you can do it, that would be great. Where did we eat? We ate at, I don't know. I was with Dawn, and she went to go have her teeth cleaned, and I went walking around and stopped where they had tequila and margarita. So I just sat down. There was live music, and that same area where I was listening to the music is where we ate. And I don't remember the name of the restaurant. Dawn said something funny though. She said, you're in a touristy area where if you're in Mexico and the name of the restaurant said whatever Mexican restaurant, that you're in Mexico. You don't need to say Mexican restaurant, because it's just food. It's kind of like going to, like, you're in America, you say American food, hamburgers, American food. Like, no, you're in America, you don't, anyways. But I don't know if I'm going to be going back to Algodones unless something is up. I feel like I kind of saw what I needed to see there, but you never know. Hey everyone, Tampa, Florida, checking in. All right. Oh, the 37K. Yeah, that's the most popular one, is the 37K. And yes, they would give me grief. I definitely think I would. Maybe I might make the news. You can read about me, you know, trying to scam the system or something like that. So yes, for sure. Those truck camping, those overlanders, those Jeeps, you know, those would be all fun. I've actually been camping for as long as I can remember. Tent camping, mostly. Remember my grandparents had a little RV, and we did family reunions up and down the California coast and all that. So I'm used to being out. I love the camping. I just love being the outdoors. I've never, like, lived in an RV full time. I had during 2020, when that big COVID rush was at, I kind of, like, got claustrophobic in California. I was like, I got to get out of here. And I ended up buying a 22-foot Class B camper van. It was the Coachman Beyond. And I would leave, and I would go out, and I'd have to come back because work. And it felt like just a yo-yo, just like out and back. And I was like, I want to expand further I don't want to be tethered. And that's when I decided, this is fun. I need to get out of here. And I made that decision. I made that decision to go full time I think I put the deposit down in November or December, and I got the rig in January. So it was really fast. It was like 3 months from the time that I said I'm out of here until the time I went. It was. I've talked to people that are doing it years and years and years planning, and no, it took me about 3 months. I'm kind of impulsive that way. Oh, when driving, I don't know. When driving, I oh well up where I'm at, yeah, because I have the air condition and stuff up there. I don't know about up there in the cab. I'm never up there, but I think some of that might just have to do with what direction you're traveling too. But I've never noticed whether it gets hot in the upper cab area. I don't think I've ever noticed when I get done driving and I go up there because I grab the ladders and stuff that I ever go, wow, it's hot up here. Even the rig back here doesn't get very hot when I'm driving, because when I'm driving, I keep all the window shades down so that way none of the air. I keep a fan on just because there's cats and stuff, especially on long drives. But I don't think I've ever had an issue or a situation where I went up there and went, whoa, it's hot. So no, I don't think that it's ever happened to me. No. Yeah, I think I've seen you guys around. So yeah. Oh, okay. I would love to do all that. I just gotta get my lazy butt up there. Once I get done with my last big piece of business in California, which will be in the week or two, then I'll be free to go and not have to worry stuff. So I can go up into that area. Everyone tells me to go in the fall, but that's also the busy time, like busy, busy, busy time. So maybe you can recommend a popular time, but not the busy, busy, busy time. I did not get an inspection before buying. I just kind of jumped in and hopped in. So should I have? Maybe, but it turned out I was okay. I just did again a very, very detailed PDI. That was the one thing that everybody told me. Just get that rolling and you'll be fine. Um, I think so. I mean, is it really $1,000? I didn't know it was that expensive. I probably would not have done it if I known it was $1,000. Well, maybe, I don't know. I may have paid like $500 for it, but I don't know about $1,000. That seems like a lot. So I don't know. Yeah, 500 no brainer. 1,000, I don't know. Is that really how much they cost? The ones that are the NIRVA certified inspectors. So yeah, uh, yeah, the Jayco Seneca and the Accolade 37K. Again, the 37K is the most popular model. I don't even think they make this floor plan anymore. Integra, or what I have the 37RB. I think they got rid of that one. Springtime. I think we could definitely make that work. I think that would be fun. One of the things about like the Northeast, like I've gotten so used to boondocking and just being on public lands and kind of doing all that. Even RV parks are. I think in January I only stayed in an RV park like 4 days, so I've gotten this whole boondocking thing down, and I'm trying to finalize this solar before I head east. And there's no public land, no public boondocking back on the back east. So it's just one of those things where that means it's campsites and campgrounds and pay sites and all that, and it can get pricey as you know. So, but I do want to try and make it up there for sure. What is that storyline? Only thing holding me back, I work with music. Yeah. What do you do for music? Are you a producer or are you singers? This and that. I know a lot of people that travel on the road. So the border hookups, status crows, they travel, and then as they travel the country, they book shows to play at bars and restaurants and clubs and stuff like that. So there may be opportunities out there. It just kind of depends on kind of music. Oh, and this is something too about going. This I'm next. I think it's next week. I'm being part of this. I'm a guest on part of RV to Freedom, I think they call it, and it's all about transitioning from your home into going into mobile life. And I'm going to do a segment on work, remote work, or how to manage a business, or how to be able to things to look for in your next job that will allow you to be remote, or how you coordinate your income and stuff like that. And that's a lot of the stuff that we're going to be doing with Full-Time Freedom Week in April as well. It's just talking about one of the most biggest questions, the most popular questions: what do you do for money? How do you make a living? And believe it or not, there's a lot of options that are out there. So we're going to cover a lot of that in some of these seminars that are coming up, and on Full-Time Freedom Week in April, we'll definitely be covering that. Here we go. How's working on the road going for you? It's great. I'm getting rid of the last of my sticks and bricks up in California, and when I started to look for new ways to replace that income, I said it has to be a remote gig. It has to be something that I can do from the road, and that's when the Full-Time Freedom Week kind of came up. So that was really, really nice. $800. Okay, not bad. Hello everyone. New York Fingers Lakes Wine Tour. Oh, wine tour. I'm in. Southwest Florida, cold. What RV apps do you like? And can you trust them? So it depends on what you need to do. So for route navigation, I use RV Trip Wizard, and that's not an app. It's a desktop version, but they just upgraded it to be more mobile friendly, but it's not an app. I like RV Trip Wizard because it incorporates everything: your drive time, your terrain, your elevations. It gives you safe RV traveling routes. It shows you where the truck stops, the fuel stops are. It just maps out everything in a very nice, comprehensive manner. And I use that a lot, especially where I am going places where I don't know where I'm going, places I've never been. Campendium, I like the Campendium app to find out cell phone signals. So in the paid version, you can go in there and users will submit what their quality of service is on the cell phone. So you get like real-time data on Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, all the big networks, and some of the smaller ones too, on their actual speeds, like how fast things are happening. So I use Campendium for that. I also use Campendium for boondocking sites a lot of times. Same thing with the Dyrt, D-Y-R-T. I'm thinking about actually getting the Dyrt Pro, because they have a lot of good stuff in there as well, including cell phone signals and really good boondocking sites. There was a time I downloaded this app, and let me think of a really good way to say this. The app is called Trucker's Path. And what this app does is it gives truckers lists of great roadside places that you can pull off and sleep at that are not truck stops. I do not advocate RVers using truck stop lanes or truck stops to sleep in overnight. We have way more options than the truckers do when it comes to trying to find an overnight spot. I would recommend a Harvest Host or a Boondocker Welcome, or or something along those lines for your one night stops, or even a Walmart if worst comes to worst for your overnight stays. But you really, I just think that you should leave those truck spots in the truck stops for truckers, because they need those more than we do. But Trucker's Path is just dirt lots. It's not truck stops. It's not exclusive. They're just sides of roads. They're just whatever. So I've used that a couple times to just find a spot where I needed to pull over for a night. Nothing fancy. It's one of those you pull in when the sun goes down at 7 or 8, and then you're out again at 7 or 8 in the morning. And a lot of RVers don't like camping near trucks anyways, because those trucks are always running their engines all night. So a lot of people, that noise just bugs them. So I use those apps: Campendium, Trucker's Path, RV Trip Wizard, to really kind of just do most of my navigation. Yeah, I don't think that there's anyone else. I don't think. Yeah, I think that's it. Where am I here? Oh, okay, that's where I started. New software, still trying to get loads. Best time late spring, forget winter. Yeah, definitely not going to be doing all that. When you come to Texas, Fredericksburg is my last stop. Beer and going up to Enchanted Rock. Oh, okay. I got to start planning that out. You'll know about it as I get a little more detailed. But I need to get some reservations and camping stuff and coordinate with some people there too. Cool. You know, being on the road, it's an interesting thing. I was just down in Mexico today, and I was walking down the street, and somebody taps me and goes, "Hey, I know you." And I was like, "Do you know me from YouTube, or do you know me from like what? Like, is it good know me or bad know me? Like, how do you know me?" And she was like, "We were on the parking team at Escapade in Wyoming, and we parked you." And I was like, "Oh, I don't remember them, unfortunately." But it was just that ironic thing is you're just in the most random place, you know, meeting the most random people. But it's really kind of neat to do this. And as you travel more and more, you just run into more and more people, which is really cool. Yeah, I'm Harvest Host again. I did that video on Harvest Host. I just wish I could stay longer. That's the thing. You don't want to be drinking all night and then have to get up in the morning and then bust out of there. I wish I could like stay longer at Harvest Host. That's my only thing. I also understand why you can't because people will probably start taking advantage of it and stuff like that. More information on Freedom Week. Okay, full time Freedom Week. It started in 2018 and they did it 2018, 19, a small one in 20, and then in September of 21, I'm going to be doing it in April 22. It's a 5-day virtual summit. It is taught by some of the biggest RVers that you will find on YouTube. So, like You, Me, and the RV is part of it. I'm just getting all the old gang back together, so to speak, and we cover everything about the transition. And I'm rolling it up into a bigger project as well. My idea on Full-Time Freedom Week and RVDreaming.tv is I'm developing an app. It's going to be called RVDreaming.tv. And just like when you go to Netflix and you're looking at the Netflix and you see action, adventure, comedy, drama, you know, sci-fi, all these different categories and all these different movies, you'll have this app and it'll say boondocking, solar, RV maintenance, buying a rig, traveling with kids, you know, all this stuff. And it's going to be this huge collection of videos that you can get on demand at any time on your phone, on your tablet, on your desktop. So that's what I'm working towards, and I'm hoping to be able to get that up through ready to go in March or April for Full-Time Freedom Week. And Full-Time Freedom Week is a live summit, so just like this, we'll have seminars and panelists, and you can ask questions. We put them up on the screen. That's kind of why I'm testing the software too, so we can communicate this way, and then we can do little fancy boxes and graphics. It's really cool. So that's what we're working on. More information will be coming out on that pretty soon. So just stay tuned on all that. But about 8,000 people attend every time, and I'm really trying to get that group between like you're a year before you go full time to a year into going full time. Because once you hit your second year, you kind of gone through a cycle. You kind of know what's going on. So our market is those that are maybe a year out or maybe a little more to a year in. That's kind of that market that we're looking at for all that. Hope that answers your question. Happy to talk more about it as well, but thanks for the question. Yes, I got it, and then I forgot about it. So I need to check that. One of the things, one thing that I'm looking at, so on this rig, there's a 2-year warranty. So when I get to Mississippi, and I was talked about heading north to Chicago, I might swing back through Des Moines, Iowa, and get my 2-year warranty work done there, and that would put it around August, September, and it would expire in January, my warranty. So I'm thinking about trying to tie that in into that trip. So that's kind of why I'm thinking going north, and I'll have that addressed during that part as well. But I know it's there's a couple things that I think that they're fixing. Oh, by the way, for those of you that are looking at the Accolades or the Senecas, I'm talking about the new ones. Jayco offers a free front end alignment after you buy. Because what happens is once they'll align the rig, Freightliner will align the rig when it goes out, but then once it's built, it doesn't get realigned again. So you just have to bring it to a Jayco dealership, and they will give you a free front end alignment once you get all your stuff in it and once the build is done. So definitely do that if you haven't already. And I didn't know that. I haven't done it on mine, but I've noticed that there's some weird pool. So that's what they told me. So remember to get that done if you haven't done it already. So Fredericksburg. Okay. Maybe we'll all do a meetup or something in Fredericksburg. Of course. Do you think airbags would help your rig for comfort? I think so, but I don't have any complaints with the way this thing drives or handles or rides. I just like no complaints whatsoever. So I'm happy with the way that everything is. If you can make it even better, fantastic. But as of now, I think that the rig drive's fine for me, at least. So I do want to go again. It is not currently on my schedule, but if I do go again, I probably would not be as involved as I was last time. So when I was there last time for like 5 days, I was up at 4 a.m. We were working, crewing the entire thing. I'd come home and eat, and then take a nap, and then back again at 4 for the night show, and then that takes you to the evening, and then by then you're completely whooped. So you go to bed, you wake up again at 4 o'clock. I probably would not volunteer as much as I did last time, but it was an experience. I've never done the whole hot air balloon thing, so learning how to unpack and pack, how to float them, how to fly them, how to prep them, how you navigate in the winds and stuff. It was very eye opening. So I probably would again volunteer, but I would not do every single session like I did last time because it was a lot, and I felt like I missed out on some of the show too. I didn't get a chance to go to the Air Museum, which I heard was spectacular. I didn't get a chance to go like just relax and listen to some music and check out the vendors. So I definitely want to do that. So if I go back, I think I will definitely volunteer again, but not at the level that I did last time. But I'm glad that I did it. So that was a lot of fun. Ever gotten to a spot that you could not fit? No. I've always found a way. And any close calls in traffic, no close calls. I just when I'm in tight areas, especially like in LA or Southern California when I'm going through that area, I just stick with the big rigs. I just stick with the trucks. I don't try and like swerve in and out. I'm not trying to be anything fancy. I just I just do what I do, and I just go with the rigs. And not to be mean or anything, but like these little cars that are zipping around all these little areas, they kind of have to keep their eyes open because I can't see everything. So a lot of slow turns, a lot of very intentional turns that you have to do. Like make your intentions known, because if you're trying to turn right and someone's coming in this way, but they may not see your signal because you've got your right signal on, cars coming over here, they don't know what you're doing. You really have to make your intentions known. That's one big thing. If Casey is still on, they teach you in the boating world, because there are no signals there and there are no lanes. It's just all it's open thing. So you're on the open ocean. What are you going to do? They always say like make your intentions known. If you're going to turn, then own your turn, and so everyone kind of communicates that way. But I've never had a spot that I couldn't fit in, and I mean no close calls. A couple times, you kind of slam on your brakes hard, but that's not traffic's fault. That was more my fault. So let's see, where are we at here? I haven't done anything to winterize my rig. I stay out of the cold. That's it. Yeah, stay out of the cold. When I bought the rig and I was coming up through Iowa and Kansas when it was freezing, um, I have a little electric heater in my wet bay, and that's pretty much it. And that keeps all that wet. That's really the only exposed pipes in here. So I just put that in there, and it seems to be fine. Tell us three. That's a very specific question. Very, very specific. Tell us 3 times you were driving or camping that just took your breath away because it was so beautiful. Colorado is going to be on that list. Just going through Steamboat Springs, I just remember I was on a deadline. I had to get somewhere. I was trying to get to Denver. I'd already been delayed 2 days because of the I-70 closure. But going through Steamboat Springs, it was just gorgeous. The people, the town, the scenery. There were wild horses that crossed. It was on video. I made a video about this. The wild horses that are just crossing the paths. If I didn't have anywhere to be, I would have pulled over and boondocked with the rest of them, because there were rigs all out scattered around, and I just would have stopped there and said, I'm staying here for a day or two. And unfortunately, I couldn't do it. So it's on my list for this year. Hopefully, I'll be able to make it back. The Grand Tetons were amazing. It was just foggy when I was there, but I could see why that's a big thing. We hit up Wyoming as well. What's it? Not Cheyenne, Wyoming. It was Okay, now that's escaping me. I'm gonna have to go look at my refrigerator magnets to see where I was at. What's that other small town in Wyoming that's over there by on the Idaho border? Someone help me out. But that was a lot of fun too, and I've had some really good just sites right on the river that were amazing. You know, I want to say like Huntington Beach and the ocean was really nice too, but it wasn't. I mean, that campsite is way overrated. I mean, it's great you're right there on the beach, but you have Highway 1 traffic, PCH going through you, and it's just nonstop noise all night long, and it's just not that peaceful oceanfront site that they advertise it to be. So, yes, you made it to the party. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Do you travel with others or mostly by yourself? Both. Um, right now I'm with the group, and then I'm going to be going off on my own for a little bit. And then I'm going to be joining the group again and going back off on my own. Um, and and sometimes like leaving like a big rally, like any of the convergences or any of the stuff that I do afterwards, you're just so exhausted. I tend to go off by myself for a week or so just to kind of recharge my batteries and have some solo time just to kind of recover. But then after a while, I'm like, hey, where's everybody at? Let's go. And that's what's nice about having community on the road. Once you kind of feel like, hey, I want to kind of get back into something, there's a system that we use to communicate. It's like, where are you at? And if they're really close, that's great. Like, for example, we're here. So I spent this last weekend at Buttercup at the sand dunes, and everyone was leaving on Sunday because they're like weekender kind of people. And so I was like, well, do I stay here? Do I go there? What do I do? And I found out that there were about 10 or 12 people that I know that are camping just about 14 miles away here. And they're like, just come camp with us. But they are like far. They're like, I mean, 13, 14 miles isn't far, but it's dirt roads, it's spotty internet, and it just like was too much. And it's dirt roads like 4 miles up. And I was like, nah, I don't, I'll go visit. So I just took the Jeep and I went to go visit and hung out there for the afternoon. But I didn't want to bring my rig up there just for a few days. So I just said, I'm going to stay here. It's easier. But it's both. I travel in groups, travel by myself, and just kind of whatever happens. I like traveling in groups where everyone has their own space. You have your community space. It's a nice thing. Check out. I don't know what that, Mary. I don't know what that means. Oh, there we go. Better. Okay. Wild ponies. Um, I this is gonna be hard to say, but I think I probably overbought. I didn't need 40 feet. I could have gone without 2 bathrooms. Um, I think that was probably the biggest. If I had gone down to 38 feet or 37 feet, I don't think I would have noticed the extra space being gone. The areas where I do notice like space is storage. I love all the underbelly storage in the basement in this, but I could probably gone with a smaller rig like a Nexus Wraith or something that gets down to 35 feet with just one bathroom. But having two is nice for a couple reasons. A, I can keep all the cat stuff in the back bathroom, um, and keep the front one clean for guests and stuff. Uh, the other thing I've learned when boondocking, my 2 bathrooms are on 2 separate holding tanks, especially like the toilets. There's two different black tanks. So if I'm ever out in an extended boondocking or something, and the main black tank gets filled, I can always just go use the back toilet, and it has a whole new separate tank, so I don't have to worry about overflowing or over flooding everything. I do like the redundancy and all that. The other biggest regret is, when I talked about it earlier, I made that tight U-turn and ended up popping that panel off. That was pretty bad. I should have just done what I was told, which is unhook, turn around, then rehook. But I just was running out of time. It was getting dark. I was tired. I was sick. I got that day that happened, by the way. I left Palm Springs in the morning, like at 6 a.m., got into Long Beach at 8 or 8:30. I got my second COVID booster that day, and then I started heading north. And by the time that was like a 5 or 6 hour drive. And by the time I got to where I was at, it was getting dark. I was tired. I wasn't feeling well because that shot just like knocked me out. And I was like, I just got to get there and that's when I made that stupid error. So never drive tired, never drive, when you're on because you just make bad decisions. I should have just been smart about it and taken my time and did it the way that I was trained to do it. But that was my fault. But other than that, I think the rig is great. I'm like, again, I'm very, very happy with it. I just think that maybe I didn't need this much space, but I'm happy to have it. No issues. Yeah, we were up. I didn't get a chance to see the redwoods when we were up in Sequoia. It was too cold, and it was the roads area over there were locked up, but not. Yes, Jackson. That was it. Thank you for that. I needed that. 5 coaches down to 40. Yeah, see, that's anytime you can in a system like this. Anytime that you can have redundancy, it's very, very helpful. I think. Um, and I haven't had to use it yet. I keep reminding myself, this rig is built for 2 or 3 people, maybe 4 for a week long, and it's just me. And I get stressed out when I'm boondocking for 7 or 10 days. I was like, oh my gosh, things are gonna get full. But in reality, I think that 2 people can probably use this rig for 7 days. Bathrooms, toilets, water, normal cooking and stuff, and have ample water, have ample everything to last them at least a week, maybe even 10 days. And I get paranoid when it's just me for 7 days. I think I've got way longer, not way longer. I think I have way more storage capacity in this rig than I give myself credit for. So that's always a possibility. I don't like the 37K. A couple of reasons. 37K, if you walk in and there's this big... If you guys haven't seen that video, it was maybe about a week ago, and it's titled Show Pricing. Calculate 37K show pricing or something like that with a question mark. There's a tour of the 37K that I did there. And when you walk in, there's a great big pantry cupboard, which is really nice. And then the TV and everything is pushed back this way. But what I didn't like about the 37K was the kitchen. It had a very tiny prep space, and that just wasn't a fan. But I also know it's the most popular version, so that's the one thing that's great and hard about buying rigs. There's so many variations, so many options that you can almost find exactly what you need if you just have the patience to look. Yes, some of them. Those are the fancy, expensive ones. We toured at Bass. We toured a Prevost bus. It was a 1990 something, an old school one that they renovated and great. And I was like, this is great. If I wanted to do something, a big project, I would go out and I'd buy a bus like that. Maybe like take an old Greyhound bus or something like that, or whatever, and convert it myself. Those things are just beasts, and they're just so fun to be in and explore. And that's amazing. I was touring an Airstream when I was in Quartzsite. And I said, it's amazing how they can make the space feel so roomy without any slides. And these Prevosts, or at least, don't usually have slides. New ones, I think, do. I think those are like real RVs and such. But I see them a lot, and they are on the roads. Both really nice ones. $1 million rigs, and then some older ones, which are just classics and just fun to see. I like the classic ones. I would never own one. Don't think I could actually live in one. I like the modern amenities and the toys and stuff, but it is kind of nice to see. How many hours? I think that's a personal preference thing. I try and stay under 6 hours, and that's fine for me. I'll drive 3 hours, take a break, drive 3 hours. The longest drive I did was 10 hours, and that was never supposed to happen. It was a 10-hour delay because it was a 10-hour day because there was a 3-hour accident on the 5. This is right after Christmas, and I was coming down the I-5 from Sacramento down to the Grapevine, and I was going to be meeting somebody at the base of the Grapevine on the north side, but it just didn't work. So I said, just go on without me. So, because we were meeting some other people, and I said, just go on. I'll get there when I get there. Don't wait for me. This is ridiculous. So I ended up driving all the way to the San Manuel Casino, Yamava. So Sacramento to Yamava Casino in one day with a 2 or 3 hour traffic delay. And it ended up being about 10 hours. And it was just ridiculous. And that was 2 things. 10-hour drive, my longest drive. And then I don't drive at night either. I like to be settled in my campsite at night or whatever. And that was my first on both of those. So, but I'll do 6 hours. I mean, if I needed to, I could push it to 8. What I do is I look at where I'm going and how far of the drive that's going to be, and then kind of backtrack on where I leave. But I'm one of those people that when I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to go. When I wake up, I'm going to shower, change, just get in the car, and let's just get going. Because in my mind, like if something breaks down, something doesn't work right, I'd rather be on the road during the daytime so that there's businesses that are open, mechanics that are available, part supply stores that are open if I need them, as opposed to traveling later in the afternoon or evening where something goes wrong and it's 8 o'clock. Option if you're stuck on the side of the road, options of getting fixed and finding people to help is minimal. Plus, you don't want to be on the side of the road at dark. Anyway, so I like it. For me, that's my style. Yeah, I use the Blackstone as well too. One thing I'm thinking about doing is getting some induction cooktop things here, because it's so hard to turn on the gas and get all the pans out. So I'm looking at trying to do maybe like an induction cooktop grill or something in here where I just need to cook something up really fast. So, and the Blackstone is great too. I use that quite a bit. Yes. Okay, explain the issue you had when you dropped in the Battleborn batteries. You said you had to replace fuses. Why the converter should have been switched to support batteries. Okay, so the rig came with AGM batteries. I upgraded that to the lithium batteries. But the converter is what charges the batteries. So when you're running the generator or you're plugged into shore power, or is it just shore, or is it just when you're on a generator? I don't know. But the converter is what will charge the batteries when you plug in or when you're running the generator. So first off, the converter has to be compatible with lithium. So I needed to get a new one that was compatible with lithium. So I switched that over, and there were 420 amp fuses that were in there. But because the lithium batteries draw more power to charge, they charge faster. That's why they draw more. It was tripping the breakers every time that it turned on. It wasn't charging. We weren't sure what was going on with that. So replacing them to 25 amp fuses just gave it enough power to not trip the breakers. So yeah, I think we put in the 25 amp batteries or 25 amp fuses in there, and now it works fine. Um, it is. I'm trying to think of what they were saying. That's one way to do it. The other way is to upgrade the entire electrical panel and everything. And I was like, I don't want to do that. That was a little more work than I'd be willing to do. But we just couldn't figure it out, But when I kept trying it and I would turn it on, and then things would go, and then poof, everything would break. I looked at it and I was like, well, these fuses are all. I went through probably about 8 or 10, 20 amp fuses before I said, I think this is the problem. I just think these fuses are blowing. So I put in the 25 amp ones, and again, no issues. So that was kind of that whole thing. But lithium does have a higher draw power. They also charge faster too, so I'm happy about that. Oh, thanks. Yeah. I had a bet with somebody that I wouldn't be able to do all 31 days, and I'm really surprised I did. And sometimes it was a chore. We got it done. Solar panels. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. I got some recommendations from a couple different people from solar things, and right now, enough research. I know how many watts I need to get. I want to get at least 1,200. So I'm just starting to call around and see what people's schedules are. And it's like, I just want 12 to 1,600. I know I need to get a solar power converter. If I can upgrade my converter from a 3,000 to a 5,000, I would do that as well. But it's time. I need to get this done before I head east. I don't want to keep thinking about it. It just needs to be done. I got some quotes around $5,000 or so. I don't know if that's a lot. So I'm reaching out to a couple more companies. Let's see if they can do it. There's a discount solar company in Quartzsite. That's all they do is RV solar, but they won't give quotes over the phone. You have to physically bring your rig there. I don't know if I want to go back to Quartzsite either. So I'm going to look into some other spots, but it's going to get done, and it's going to get done this month. I hope. That's my plan, at least. Yeah. You know, when you're traveling, you kind of plan for the worst, and you always think about it. And I know I don't travel on Sundays either. I normally travel on Mondays and Thursdays only. That's kind of my thing, Mondays and Thursdays. I know you mentioned about the possibility about buying a razor. Okay, so I haven't talked about this, but here's what's going on with the razor, and I still would love to get one, especially out this weekend. It was just a blast. So I was actually buying a home outside of the Phoenix area, and I said this is great because I can leave it in the garage, and then I still was going to travel. I was just going to put the house on Airbnb. So I was like, I'll leave the razor in the garage with the trailer, and the house, it was on 1 1/3 acres. So I can put the front of the house here, I can Airbnb it, and then if I'm in the Phoenix area, I'll just camp out in my rig in the back and maybe build an ADU or something for when I'm here in town. But it doesn't look, the house had some complications. I've been in escrow in this thing since like December, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse with the sellers and everything. It's just getting really, really complicated. So my idea was I'll just keep it at the house. And then when I come out to the dunes or I go out to Quartzsite, they're street legal in Arizona. So I don't really need a tow vehicle. But if I know I'm going to, going back east or something like that, then I just leave it in the garage and do all that. So that's the concept. That was a theory, at least, of what I had. But now if I don't have this house to store it, then obviously the razor is out of the question. I wouldn't be able to do that. Not even a double stacker trailer, I'd be able to keep the Jeep and the razor in. And I was only considering it because I had a place to put it where I knew I can do the swap interchangeably and stuff. So we'll see how that goes or what happens. But at this point, I'm just ready to let it go and move on because it's just becoming such a headache, and it's just. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that was the plan on where I was going to keep it and how I was going to manage all that stuff. I don't know what a reverse amp fuse is. It's just the little ones that you like a car battery or the car fuses or the thing. So maybe if you tell me what it looks like. Yeah. You're speaking Greek to me now. I'm not that like when I was on the phone with the engineers. He's like, well, why don't you try and do this? I was like, okay. I know that they do have a lithium switch. Mine has a lithium switch on it. So we changed on the panel, but then the converter was not compatible with lithium mode. So that's why we had to get a new one of those to make that work. So there's just so much to think about when you're talking about all this electrical stuff. There's so many components. It just really can make your head spin sometimes, Um, oh, I have induction pans, yeah. Um, yeah, and so I agree. That works out really, really well. But I like the induction stuff in here. I also like cooking on gas, but sometimes it's just a little more work than what I want to do. I've been using the air fryer a lot. The other day, I made bacon and waffles in the air fryer, which was awesome. The best bacon I think I've ever cooked. You just threw it in there. I forgot, it was like 375 degrees for, I want to say like 7 or 8 minutes, and it came out perfect. And I took these frozen waffles, I had these really thick ones. I threw it in there as well for like 3 minutes, and everything just came out warm and crispy. I was rather impressed with myself, considering you guys know I don't cook it, very well. Most of my cooking is done in the microwave, so so I was really impressed. I tried to do some chicken in there in the air fryer. I'm going to try a few more, and I want to do like this chili. I made this chili back a long time ago in the slow cooker. I would love to do that again, but when you're traveling and it's not cold, yeah, well, why not? No, I don't think so. I've heard some bad things about tankless water heaters. I don't know the whole specifics, but right now I have a 10-gallon water heater tank and it works fine. Runs off of propane. I have no issues. I've had no things. I've just heard some weird things about tankless water heaters, and I don't think I would do it right now. It's not something that I'd even considered previously to your comment. I just don't know enough about them to say there's a big benefit. I just know that every time people talk about it, it's there's just something weird. So people always kind of say something weird about it. So Aquahot. Oh, that's a tankless water heater. I don't know. Mary likes it. So David, you guys can talk, and then you can talk to Mary about it in the comments and see what's going on this. Um, you know, so you know how all these people that talk about establishing habits, good habits, bad habits, whatever. You need to do it for like 3 days, or I'm sorry, like 3 weeks every day to create these habits. This Vloguary series, I just got into that routine, and it just got into that habit. It was always constantly thinking about what am I going to do, what am I going to say, and how are we going to make it work. That not doing it, like today was the first day I didn't do one this morning, and I woke up and went, I'm out of my routine. I'm kind of like off my game a little bit, and it was weird. So I'm not saying that I'm going to do it every day, but I think I can be in the habit of doing it more. Oh, one of the reasons too that I decided not to do Vloguary in February, because it could easily be extended. But one of the reasons why I decided not to do Vloguary in February is this February I was going to spend, taking care of that house and getting it ready for Airbnb, which is not like relevant to this kind of travel. So I needed to focus on getting that done before I headed out. But now if that's not happening, I'm going to be doing more travel. It's very possible I could do these daily, Vloguary kind of stuff, or do more of that stuff if I'm going to be traveling more, doing more RV stuff. So it's a possibility. I mean, I didn't really think about it till just now. But I had a lot of fun doing it. I learned a lot doing it. I hope you guys are seeing what it's like being on the road every day, and just some of the day-to-day stuff. I know that there's more to it than what I'm putting in, but just to kind of give you a feel for, really just kind of waking up in a new spot every time, or going and experiencing new things all the time. So maybe, I don't know. I was in Mexico today, and I did a lot of video as if I'm going to edit tonight and put it up tomorrow. So we'll see. And then tomorrow's a travel day. So that's always fun, where we go move from one spot to the other and kind of check all that out. So you never know. There might be more stuff coming up pretty soon. So Technosite has all brochures completed 30K with Saga 32, which is take 1 and take 2. Oh. Okay. I need to look into that. At least something like 32 gallons, which is tank 1 and tank 2. Is that the black tank then, right? Or the gray tank? Tank 1 and tank, gray tank? So, John, if you're still watching, is that the 3223? Is that 32 gray tank front and 23 gray tank back? I'm assuming it is. You don't need a 32-gallon black tank. That would be ridiculous. It's got to be the front. So at an 80-gallon... So this is what's weird. With an 80-gallon freshwater tank, we've only got 55 gallons of gray water storage, if that's right. So, interesting. Okay. Nope. I have not had any problems with the air fryer. Oh, well, let me rephrase that. Yes, I have, if I'm also running the fireplace, and if I'm also running an air conditioning, and I'm on my generator, or like the microwave. I've had problems with that. But if I'm just running TV lights, I can run the microwave and the air fryer and the TV as I'm cooking and stuff without a tripper on the generator, without anything tripping. But beyond that, like if I added a heater, or I turn on the fireplace or an air conditioning, it would trip. But I've kind of got most of that figured out by now. A little trial and error there. Hot plate and a portable tailgate smoker. You know what? There was a barbecue smoker at Bash that these people travel with, and I was jealous. I just don't know if I had the patience to cook like that. Like, I'll just go over to their place and eat, and kind of invite myself over. So, I've had 2 coaches with Agahot. They're great until they're not. That seems to be like the thing for a lot of stuff. They're great until they're not. $7,000 for a new 250D, 37K if you had to replace. Wow. So, cost. Yeah. I think a lot of things are like that. They're great until they're not. So I don't know if the Aquahots give you any sign that they're about to fail, or if you just wake up one morning and you're looking forward to a long hot shower and there's nothing. I don't know. If it gives you that kind of warning, as opposed to like some of the other ones that are out there. Tax deductions for using your rig while doing business. Yes, you can, but I don't. I don't make enough money from YouTube to really justify all the additional work of all that. That may change with RV Dreaming and the Full Time Freedom Week because I am producing videos, but that's still to be determined. It's just not something that, for 2021, I didn't even take any deductions on any of it, even though I probably could have been entitled to it. It's just not. It's just not worth it for me right now to do that. So, no, you're still here. After 1 year traveling, is there anything you would do differently? No, I don't think so. I started out traveling, the first 6 months or so, just going to visit friends and family and kind of doing my own thing and exploring. And then July, when I started hanging out with the escaper groups and following them around and just kind of exploring. No, I think that I made pretty good use of my time for this first year. Um, I wish that I would have been a little more smart about traveling during certain times of year. Like I had 10 days in Las Vegas in the summer that were just miserable. I had no business being there except for, hey, I like Vegas. Let's go. I haven't been there for a while. I need to plan better in that way. But no, and as I'm planning 2022, I'm kind of using the same logic. Once I hit the road and go east, it's just to visit friends and family, and then I'll start, connecting with some other events on the road. But I don't think I would have done anything differently. I think I planned it out, most of the things out pretty well, except for timing. I got to start, like, one of the great things about kind of being on the road, I don't watch the news as much as I used to, so I'm not always plugged into what's going on with current events and stuff the way I used to do it. And that cost me when I didn't know that the I-70 was closed. If I'd known that, it could have saved me a ton of travel time and a ton of headache. And weather, when you're going through passes with chains and snow and stuff. I didn't know that either. So I try and be a little more wary of weather nowadays. So, all tanks. Okay, so, interesting. It's still not enough, right? That's still not enough to cover the 80-gallon freshwater tanks. So, 3223 black. Then they'll have the same for grade 4023. Fresh one has number. Okay. All right. I'll have to go down with a flashlight and dig around and see what I can find there. So, uh, yeah. I'm going to try and see what I can do. I mean, I enjoy them, and I don't want to get out of the habit of doing them. It's really easy to get lazy and just not do them. And one a day, it's, you just kind of get rolling. So, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for watching after dinner. Okay, Mary, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Be safe, and I'll talk to you soon when we're out there. Um, if you have steam coming from an aquahot unit, you are in trouble. Yeah. I don't know anything about that, but anytime there's steam or smoke coming out of something, you're going to have some issues. It was past October. Yeah, I remember. So, wait. You sold your house already, but you're not going to go full time for 3 years. Until 3 years. So, what you going to do until then? So, you're just going to rent, or you're going to part time or something? A lot of people talk about like this part-time, full-time thing. And as I'm developing RV Dreaming and Full-Time Freedom Week, we have people coming into three sections. We call them sometime, part-time, or full-time. Sometime is you got a rig and you just kind of, oh, we haven't done that in a while, let's go. The part-timers are like the friends that I was camping with, where they go every other weekend. Every other weekend is a camping weekend. That's what I would consider like a part-timer. And the full-timer, obviously, is the next step. Um, so that's kind of the areas where we're trying to develop content for and all that. So, all right, what else do we have? Do we have any other questions here? I'm going to go back to this one here that Jason brought in, that I marked earlier. If I had, and I was trying to think about as I was going through this thing, if I had talked, and I can't really think of anything unexpected that I had to buy. Maybe an air compressor, that was always good to have, but nothing like, oh my gosh, there's. I kind of expected everything I had to buy, or I just bought it because I wanted it. So, Oh, well, there you go. Save up some money. Don't pay them rent. Thanks for a lot. Yeah. Appreciate all of the comments and suggestions and ideas. It's been a lot of fun for me, and I can't thank you guys enough for coming along the ride. I hope you guys are learning stuff. I want to keep doing these, but tell me what kind of content you're looking for. It's hard for me to just guess. Oh, maybe this is good or not, or people finding this engaging. I'm always just trying to find fun stuff to talk about. That's different. There's a lot of RVers that are out there, a lot of YouTube channels that you can get information from, and I'm trying to not copy and paste. Just trying to be a little unique and a little different in story and perspective and stuff. So I'm always open to ideas as to what's going on. Any other comments, guys? Anything else that you guys want to talk about? I know everyone's starting to kind of bail out. Okay, here we go. Fresh tanks will not equal the capacity of both your black and both your grays. 30 72 gallons fresh water. Okay. Yeah, everything just seems to be, it is what it is. So, anything else? I'm on this new software. It doesn't show how many people are still online. So, anyways, if there's nothing else, I'm going to hold on. I had this set aside. Threw a little that's ice in here. I was gonna pour this tequila shot, and we'll cheers out to the end of Vloguary here. Oh, wait. It smells good. So, cheers to you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming along the ride with Vloguary. It was a blast. More to come, I hope, as we do this. So, cheers to you guys. I'm still here if you have any other questions. Steve, you're welcome. This. Wait, let me see if this is any good. Let me see if I spent $35 for nothing. Oh no, this is good. I could drink this. This is nice. Yeah, no, never trust the gauges. This is better than Patron. This is nice. I like this. Oh, 32? Oh, that's great. Oh, you too, Mike. I was going to hit you up for Christmas, but stuff just happened so fast. I'm assuming you're still in Sacramento. David, thank you again. Thank you, John, for everyone. Tanya, thanks so much for everything. So when are you going to start? What's happening? Where are you at? So congratulations on your retirement. Cheers to you too. I don't want to pour another thing of tequila, but maybe I will. When are you going to start? And what part of Texas are you in? And I haven't had a beer in a long. Well, I shouldn't say that. I had a bunch of beer this weekend because everyone drank Bud Light, so that's what I was drinking. Freeze, are you the one that I'm sending the keychain to in Malaysia? You're the furthest one away. Is that you? Is it safe RVing in the U.S.? Yeah, I mean, I haven't had any problems if you're traveling in groups or in populated areas, but I haven't had any problems, and I have very few stories of people that I know that have had problems. So yeah, I think it is. I think I would say it's safe, but again, you just never know. I can say that now, and in 10 minutes, be laying, on the side of the road somewhere. So, but you've always got to be aware of your surroundings, and you've always got to just be prepared for anything. But I've never had a situation where I felt unsafe or just whatever. But you always, want to trust your gut, especially when you're boondocking out in the middle of nowhere. You really just want to trust your gut. And that's the other thing too. When I'm boondocking, it's never just me by myself out, alone. Like so Don and I are here right now, and we were about 4 miles up the road to the dunes. And when our group left, we said, we're way too far from people. We need to go closer to the ranger station, closer to the security spot. So we packed up and we just drove 4 miles to the main area where there's more people and next to the security station, just because we didn't want to be way out there all by ourselves. So you got to trust your gut and just listen to like your instincts. And we're like, yeah, I mean, we probably would have been fine out there, but it's just one of those unsettling things where you're like, no, it's just, let's break down, let's just drive over there and take care of that. So, John, thanks so much for hanging out, and you too. Shawnee, am I saying that right? Shawnee. Don't take. We'll see how it goes. I want to put out this Mexico video because that was interesting. Hop in your Subaru and come on down. I don't know what you're doing for work, but come meet me. Like, don't wait. Just hop on down and come on out. Okay, Houston to Galveston. I'm going to be up in the Houston area later on, so that'll be fun. I'll check it out. Oh, okay. Oh, by the way, for those of you that still have that are getting the keychain as part of the little secret word description kind of stuff, I have it right here on my counter. I haven't sent them out yet. There's no post office out here. So tomorrow's a travel day, and so I'm going to drop them off in the post office tomorrow. I know I said I was going to do that last week, but I lied. But I'll get it to you tomorrow. I hope. No promises. But they're going to you. Yeah, and Rod, I hope it's going to get to you in Malaysia. That keychain. Just let me know and be sure you got my info. So be sure to email me when you get it, because I'll let you know when it goes out. I'm just wondering how long it's gonna take. Where am I? Oh, okay, wait. I'm going backwards. Only risk is boondocking. Yeah, you got it. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else? I mean, I'm just kind of. There's that overhead bunk. I'll have to kick the cats out, but you got that. Just bring on your Subaru, and so there's that. Yeah. So these are the keychains. I don't know if you saw them. They're 3D printed, and it's got this little rubbery kind of a feel. So I was really impressed with the way they turned out. So yeah, there you go. See, how's that? Wait, do I have to take a thumbnail photo? The things you have to go through for YouTube, it's hilarious. It's the funniest thing. Don's doing TikToks in line when we were trying to get back into the thing, and we're sitting around just kind of just talking on your phone. But the funny thing is, nobody looks at you weird. When you're going around talking into your phone, nobody's like going like, "What's that crazy person?" like they used to a long time ago. So I've actually had people come up and say, "Hey, are you TikToking or YouTubing?" And it's like, "Yeah." So it is kind of weird. That Oh yeah, yep. There you are, Liam. I remember you. I've got your stuff here too. It'll be going out tomorrow probably. Yeah, I screwed up on math, but it's all good. Yeah. I put one of these on my RV cag too. They're a little big to like put in your pocket, so but I made them big because it's easy to find, So for like certain things, it's just easy to find. Thanks. I have some extras. Where can I send you a? So in the description of my videos, there's my mailing address. It's in Livingston, Texas. So you can send stuff to me there, and I'll be able to get it and stuff. I have a bunch of stickers. I just don't know where to put them. I don't want to put them on something permanent because if I move or take it around or if I lose it, like a lot of people put stickers on water bottles and stuff. I don't want to do that because, I might lose a water bottle and I lose the stickers, but I don't want to put them on the side of the rigs or anything either. So, when you go to a harvest host, do you look at wineries, breweries first, or is it based on location? For me, wineries. The first thing I'm going to do is is there a winery on the route? That's going to be my first stop that I'm going to do for a couple reasons. Wineries, A, because I like the wine. I want to go do the wine thing. Secondly, wineries tend to have large land, right, out in the middle of, nowhere where it's dark and quiet. Breweries are more found in urban areas, so it's likely going to be busier. The parking lots are likely going to be tighter. It's going to be harder to get in and out. So wineries are always like my first choice. I also look at farms. I love going to these farms and staying where you can go in there and you can buy fresh produce or fresh jams and jellies and just different homemade stuff. There was one I stayed at. It was called Raleigh's Red Barn, and it was. I left Provo a day early to specifically go there. They had homemade ice cream. They had farm fresh produce. They had homemade apple ciders, and so I just went and bought a bunch of stuff there. I still have, I talked about making these great waffles in the air fryer a little while ago. I still have some of their blueberry syrup, their homemade blueberry syrup that I used on that. So I love going to these farms. So that would probably be my second choice is wineries first, and then these farms second. Because again, big lots, lots of space, lots of room, fresh food, produce, and they just really have the things. The breweries, harder to get into, harder to get out of, and all that. But that's kind of my priorities. And then attractions. I would also take an attraction over a brewery. So like when I stayed at the Pueblo Air Museum, that was great because you got to look around and all that. It was at an airport, so that was kind of cool. It was kind of noisy and loud too, but whatever. So that's my order of preference. No, it's definitely a thing. Flagpole. What's the question of? Oh, putting the stickers on the flagpole. Not a bad idea. I actually don't need to get a different one. I don't know if I like the one that I have right now. So, dry erase board. I don't have a dry erase board. Do I have it? I don't have a dry erase board. I gotta find something to do with them though. They're. I thought about just doing what I did with the so those little lapel pins that I get sometimes instead of the magnets. I'll go do that. I got a nice little magnet. When I was actually waiting in line to go back to the United States, there's just these people like walking up and down selling everything, and I actually ended up buying a magnet. I looked everywhere for them too. I tried to say I want a magnet for the rig, and it just so happened I couldn't find one earlier, and then just guys walking around, and it was like, hey amigo, and like, give me, how much? It was $5, and I probably could have got it down to $3, but I was like, here, just take the money and leave us alone, from here on out. So that was dry erase board. We did that one already. Have you had any mechanical issues so far with the RV? How often do you have to do oil change of service? Do you think Super C was nicer for married? Okay, no mechanical issues so far. I did an oil change at around 14,000, 15,000 miles. Replaced the oil the oil filter, air filter. I think we even did the fuel filter the entire time. And I did a mobile service. I was in Palm Springs, and there was a mobile company that actually came, brought a rig. They did the oil. They replaced everything. I didn't have to go to anything, and it was not expensive at all. It's only a few $100. I thought it was a great deal. And then no other mechanical issues so far. Knock on wood. I would think that the Super C is so much nicer for repairing. Oh, absolutely. So one of the reasons why I chose a Super C, and I talked about this in depth on the video that I did during Vloguary, which is why I chose a Super C. And I just talked about ease of maintenance, repairs, parts. If you break down on the side of the road, you can go to any truck stop and you can find the Freightliner parts to get this thing fixed up and ready to go. Class A diesel mechanics, a lot of people won't even touch those, and the people that do are normally booked 3 to 4 months out, and I just don't want to be stuck. I want to travel. I don't want to get stuck. That's one of the big things is you can go into any truck stop. Let's say I need a XYZ part. They'll have it. They'll have trained people to replace them. The TA, Travel America, and the Petro stations have a contract with Freightliner, I think. And like the Loves and Flying J, I think they do international chassis. So if you can find but they're all kind of the same, for the most part. So I always know that's a little comfort in the event that something does happen, that repairing will be easier and faster and parts will be, more accessible. So I like it like that too. Hilton Head. I would love to do that, John. That actually sounds like fun. The thing that I found about like a lot of those motor coach resorts, these big fancy ones with the little casitas and stuff that's outside that are in these pictures, is it's Class A only. It doesn't matter if it's a Class A diesel that's like 25 feet or whatever, or there's always a big difference. But yes, I have a feeling that I would enjoy it. Sometimes I do like roughing it, not roughing it. Like, come on, really. But sometimes I do like doing the dry camping and being out. But sometimes you just want to like not worry about resources. You just want to let the shower run and take a long hot shower. You just want to run the AC or not worry about your batteries and stuff. So that's why I'm really excited about solar. But yeah, little time at Hilton Head, you're on. Let me know. I'll go up there just for that because that sounds like fun. This, by the way, is really good. I want to have more, but I don't want to have more. I still have my wine, and I opened up another bottle just a bit ago before I started the live stream because I figured I'd be drinking a lot more. What else? Anything else? My time is your time. Okay, Class A, Class C only. Eric Johnston. Over the last month or so. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming on board. There's an Eric Johnston that used to live in my building when I lived in Long Beach, but I don't think that you are him. I think you guys just have the same name. So I was trying to look at your profile picture. Yeah, same guy. I just think that, yeah, different name. So, hey, welcome. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here. And, well, anything else? News, funny, information, anything worthwhile? What do you want to talk about? Nothing? If not, we can end it, but I'm here for you guys if you need anything. Because, again, I don't know. I need to find out how to tell how many people are online. I just don't want to be here sitting talking to myself. Hold on 1 second. I have an idea. Okay. 12 people online. Anything else? Are we good? All right. So, oh boy. So, anyways, all right. I think we're going to wrap this up. It's been an hour and 42 minutes. Yeah, an hour and 42 minutes, which is almost like the same time that we had last time. Blinds, any trouble? Just one. This one here on my slide. It's the one that's opposite this one. This just doesn't want to close all the way. So it's an easy fix. I just have to take the thing off and then redo it. But beyond that, that's my only one. It just doesn't retract all the way. It only retracts maybe like halfway. So very cool. In the next year, you're my target audience for Full-Time Freedom Week and RV Dreaming. So it's like 34 watchers. Okay, that's a good thing. I don't even know what that means. Cow mutilations are up. John, you're going to have to explain that one. Does it have anything to do? Did I put that on the... I don't know if I recorded that. When we were in Quartzsite doing that dry dock, the party that I normally had, there's a friend that drove out from Blythe, California. It's about, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. And he has this huge farm. He raises cows and pigs and stuff like that. Slaughters his own pigs. But he just had a cow done. And he came out with just this huge, slab of like every kind of, beef imaginable. And he had this huge buffet line. And he was like, just pick the kind of meat that you want, whether it's a fillet or a porterhouse or a tri-tip or a T-bone. Like, it's just huge buffet of just meat. You go in there, and it's like a salad bar. You grab your piece of meat, like huge beef, and then you season everything. And then outside, we had like 6 grills going. So you just find an empty spot on a grill. You get your own stock, Sheila, so you cook it yourself. I was like, oh my gosh, I ate into this what did I get, a porterhouse? I forget what I got. But I've been into it. It was a nice medium rare. Like, that's the way you eat steak. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was so amazing. It was the greatest thing ever. Like, and that was like, it was so popular that even people from other camps were coming because there was so much. And then he left and went and got more and came back. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was delicious. You guys should be jealous. You should be very, very jealous. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that sucks. That cab blind and the thing. Yeah, it's yeah, that sucks. It closes and it sags and it gets stuck. So I just use the broom that I have or the little Swiffer thing, and as I'm hitting the button down, I just kind of help guide it, and that's fine. But it when I bought it though, it worked great. It was smooth, it was tight in there, and now it just sucks. So I just don't really change it there. Any recommendations? I've never bought used and renovated, so I don't know if I can really speak to that. I want to just get up and go. That was kind of like my thing. But if I were to renovate, I would gut it and start over and really design a floor plan from scratch that fit my needs. I think what you kind of have to do is go out and just find something and go out for a little bit. Go out for 6 months or go out for a year and just take notes as you go along. Like, I wish it did this. I wish it had that. I wish this was over here. And then as you get a little more experience, say, hey, if you're going to try and renovate or buy something, or start from scratch, incorporate those notes into your design plan, because it'll just like reevaluate. Like if I were to do this, if I were to take this as a base plan, as a floor model, there's great things I like about it that I definitely want to keep, and there's other things that I would change, like the design of the bathroom, or I'm sorry, the bedroom. I've talked about that. There needs to be this little slide just to give you that little bit. I would have added a little more room here and a little less room there. I would have changed this. It's just small things. So I would love to renovate a bus. Like just take one of the, I mentioned this before, like it's one of those big old Greyhound buses or something like that, and just gut it and then rebuild it. Even a school bus or something like that. Dawn, who's traveling with me, she was just at Schoolie Palooza out here in Arizona, where people have taken all the schoolies and old school buses and renovated them. And she just said that the ideas of what people do are amazing, where they just renovate and change stuff around. Everything, including the roof, like rooftop patios, rooftop fire pits, and all these other things, ladders that go up. The creativity is just unlimited. And that's kind of what I would do. I would look into saying, I'm going to do something that is just, just for me. So, okay. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah. Where are we at here? Yeah, so I work full-time from the road. We kind of covered this. I don't want to keep going on it, but I just acquired a company called Full-Time Freedom Week, and we're developing an app called RV Dreaming. And it's all about helping people go from their sticks and bricks to full-time. Our audience is like people who are in the planning process, maybe a year or two before, up to a year into travel. So we're working with all of the big top YouTubers, not just me, but all the big YouTubers to create content on really developing a plan and a strategy to not only live full time on the road, but also work and make an income and save and how to do it and what not to do and all that. Am I the only one not getting the cow joke? Am I the only one that's actually still excited about the food? um, I think it just sucks. I think it's just a poor design. I think it was an afterthought. Um, it's not a lubrication issue. I'll do a video on it at some point. I just think it's a poor design. That's yeah. It just sucks. I'll just put it that way. So so what else? Anything else? So it said there were like 35 people, but we're only hearing from a few. Where is everyone else? There was a question that, hold on one second. There's a question here that someone asked me. Joel had a question that he emailed for this. What was your experience with RVs, more specifically Super C RVs, before you bought the Integra? Did you own any RVs or campers in tow before? Were you a part-time RVer before this purchase? So I had a Class B RV for about 3 months or so. I bought it. I loved it. I went full-time, sold it, bought this. Um, I've camped before, but I've never like really RV'd before. This was just like my thing. I was looking to leave Long Beach anyways. I was ready to kind of move out of Southern California. I'd been there for a long time. So I didn't know where to go though. I didn't know what to do. And one thing led to another. And then this RV thing came and it came up. And I was like, oh, that's great. I don't have to choose anywhere to go. I can go anywhere right now. So um, the business is called fulltimefreedomweek.com. The old website is up, but there's a Facebook page, there's the website. My recommendation is join the Facebook page of Full Time Freedom Week, and you'll know about everything that's going on over there because there's just a lot of stuff working right now. Yeah, the rig they designed to the largest common denominator, but I like stuff to work the way that I want it to. Like if it were up to me right now, I'd gut this dinette set. I would put in a workstation here with more storage, with a nice ergonomic chair because I'm here so much. I would really adapt to the way. But the problem is, if I were to sell this, I wouldn't. I mean, you're kind of losing your market. So people who like to buy stuff, it's they don't want it to be adapted. They So is that. Where are the cats? Well, there's one over here. Hold on. There's one just like, oh, I've got all these cables plugged in. Hold on. You're going to see how messy things are. One's right there. And then, oh, wait, I hear the other one. Let's see. Oh, there's the other one coming out right here. That one's, Izzy's a shy one. You probably don't see her that much. So, but they're out and about, exploring, catching things. They, like I always say, like after we get done driving, Camden will just go to his food bowl and start to eat, and Izzy will go out to the window and see what's new. She likes to look out from the window, but she doesn't like to, actually interact with people. So, but thanks for asking about the kitties. Yes. Hey, Florida. Isn't that late for you? It's almost 11 o'clock over there. But thanks for staying up late. I appreciate that. Yeah, now she's starting to play. I got them, I was at Walmart and I was going through a section. I bought a ball of yarn and I just took some yarn, threw up in a ball with a little tail. So now I can throw it up and around, and they play with that quite a bit. So it's nice. How can I get bored? I'm talking to you guys. No. um, I there are times where I was just talking to Don about this. There are times where when I break apart from a group after traveling for a long time, where I'm like, I need some time alone. But then after a day or two, where I might say I need a week by myself, but then after a day or two, I'm like, I'm bored. I got to go and do something. What's great is there's always something to do. So I can, like right now, I feel like I'm out in the middle of nowhere, but there's a casino like 5 miles up the road. So if I was really bored and I'm sitting around here, I was like, I don't want to sit around and watch TV. I want to go out and like just do something. I'd hop in the car. The casino, like 2 exits right up the freeway, the Q Casino. So I don't get bored. I know that those spam calls. um, it's hold on one second. I'm gonna answer this question in a second, but that's also annoying. I don't get. So the thing is, when I started one of my old jobs, I had to travel alone by myself. So it was really weird, like going to a bar by yourself, going to dinner, going to movies, by yourself. But that job kind of said, if you want to do something, like just don't hide in your hotel room all day. Like, and so just because of that travel and that job, I got used to just going out and meeting new people, and just having, I love a good dive bar. So whenever I'm in a new town by myself, and I just want to go out and something, I'll just go up to a nice locals dive bar. I'll sit down at the bar, talk to the bartender. There's always locals there, and you just kind of hear your stories. You just have a couple chats and talk. And then next thing you know, it's like time to go home and it's bedtime. So whenever I do get bored, that's kind of what I'll do. I'll just go out and just explore something. There's always something to do. I have a movie pass, like with Cinemark, the monthly movie pass or whatever. So worst case too, I was like, let's go watch a movie. That kind of died ever since COVID. I don't even know if there's new movies out. There's not even a Cinemark around here where I'm at right now. But I've got that. There's always something. There's always something to do. I'll just go to a mall even and just walk around and look to see. I'm not a big shopper, and even if I did buy stuff, like where am I going to put it? So there's always something. Sometimes I started picking up golf again. So if there's a nighttime driving range with lights, I'll just go out there and hit a bucket of balls or something like that. I don't get bored, or if I do, it's by choice. I'm like, it's like I'm. What did Tiffany say? Tiffany says I'm charging my introverted batteries, or something, because she's very introverted like that. So sometimes I'm saying, you know what, I'm just gonna stick around here. I'm gonna watch some TV, and I'm gonna be a bum tonight. But it doesn't happen very often. Normally, I'm like, what are we doing? Even if it's just sitting around a campfire and chatting. I just don't like to always be just by myself unless I absolutely have to. So, oh, you're right. My clock's set to Arizona time, but I'm trying to go by. Yeah, time zones suck. So, thanks, Casey. Casey, just so you guys know, she was my boat neighbor back when I had the boat in Long Beach. So they had the sailing thing, and we called them the mayor of the dock, Casey and Brian. So it's always good to see you guys. 10:52. We're all like watching times. I don't wash or wax my own RV. I do have some supplies. I should do a video on this. I do have some stuff where I can do it by myself, but I've just found that it's easy. It's a big chore. It's a big task. And there's a lot of people that can do it better, faster, and cheaper than I could ever do it myself. I normally pay about $100 to $120 to have this thing hand washed and hand dried. And then a little bit more for like the wax. But there was one time, where was I? Where they offered this for $160. I got it hand washed, hand dried, waxed, and polished for $160. I don't remember where that was, but that was a huge deal. And I was like, absolutely, just do it. And it looks great. But now everything's just a mess. Have you seen the Jeep? I don't know if I showed that in the video. The Jeep is just filthy. I need to get that done when I get to my next spot. Panama City Beach. I really want to get to Florida, but I want to do it like in the winter. I don't want to get there in the summer, where it's hot and humid and everything. But I gotta get to Florida. It's just there is a system. Let me see if I can find it here. There is a system that was recommended to me by the salesperson that sold me the rig, or the person that works in the parts department. She spent years, or I want to say even decades, in the automotive paint design, or the RV paint design. She designed like the graphics on the sides of rigs, and she told me what to do, what to get. So she recommend. Oh, here it is. Okay. I don't know how to. Let me see if I can do this. Can you guys? Can you see this here? This is what she had recommended. The Aero Cosmetics Waterless RV Aircraft Boat Wash Wrap Mop system. It's on Amazon. It's $249, and this is what she had recommended that I use, because it's all soft terry cloth towels. It's all soft whatever, and you can use this cleaner in a spray bottle. So this is what she recommended. And you can see I purchased it here January 8th, 2021. So that's what she had recommended to be used. I don't know. Did you guys see that? Give me a thumbs up if you were able to see that screenshot. That's cheap. Okay, I guess you did. Oh. You have a delay? Well, 5 seconds. I'm not going to pour that for 5 seconds. Dawn said she was going to come by. Okay, 5 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5. Cheers. Thank you. So, okay, now it's starting to burn. Yeah, I would love to do a meetup sometime. You know, something small and intimate and fun. I think that I think it would be fun. There's a lot of YouTubers that are out there that don't want to do big events, or don't want to do meetups, or they want to do it in a real controlled environment. I was like, hey, let's go out to the desert. Bring your rigs. Let's go have some fun. Let's start a fire, and that's what camping is all about. That's what RVing is all about. Let's just go out there and do that. So, yes. Casey, I'll be actually in Long Beach pretty soon, probably in the next week or two. So, Aero Cosmetics. It was, yeah, Aero Cosmetics Waterless RV Aircraft Boat Wash. Yeah, Aero Cosmetics store. Yes, that is correct. Yes. You got it. Is there anything you wish you miss about living in a house? Anything you wish you could bring with you in your RV you just don't have room for? The one thing I miss about living in a house is the same thing I missed about living in a condo, which is a garage. I wish I had a spot where I can just tinker. Like if I need to fix something or I need to clean something or I need to store something, I miss having just a garage in general. Um, so because I didn't have it, I'm okay with that whole thing. Is there anything you wish you can bring with you in your RV that just you don't have room for? Hot tub? Can I say that? Hot tub? um, what else? No, really. No, I mean, I don't think there is anything that I absolutely needed that I don't already have. Like my sofas in this rig are nicer than the ones that I had at the house. These are power, they're leather, they're reclining. It's nicer than what I had when I lived in my home. I brought a lot of my silverware, like my plates, my china, my forks, and stuff like that. I just brought from the house. So unless I'm boondocking and eating off of paper plates or plastic, it's the same stuff that I had. My TV was bigger, but it was also further away, so I'm closer, so I don't need a big TV anymore. Um, I have a king size bed ish, so I'm not missing any of that. My shower in the bedroom. The shower is probably the biggest thing because what I had was this big rainfall head and stuff. I would love to do that in the rig, but it'd just be a huge waste of water. It just probably wouldn't work. But if you find a way to recirculate, I don't know. There just needs to be a different thing that's going in there. Cheers, Wrench League. Send me that sticker. I'm gonna look for it. I just the thing like I know that there's a lot of people out there that are RVing that are doing it because they don't have a choice. Either rent's too high, they're not making the income, and I actually talked to somebody. I was in the hot tub. Speaking of hot tubs, I was in the hot tub in Palm Springs last time I was there, and I was talking to this couple, and they moved into an RV because it was the only thing they can afford, and a lot of stuff was broken, a lot of stuff wasn't working. They were in and out of the Thousand Trails system because they couldn't get the big package. And he told me there were about, I don't know, 8 or 10 of us in the hot tub at the time. We were all just chatting. And he told me that he cannot stand it when people are just talking about how their rigs don't do this or they wish they had that, because doing this, what I'm doing is a choice. It's something that I'm choosing to live this way. I don't have to. For him, he sees it as not as an upgrade or a lifestyle adventure. They were seeing it as a means of survival. Like this is my only thing that I can do without like being on the street. And so I was like, well, it's just all a matter of perspective. You're living what other people would say is a dream. If you can go out there and you can travel and you can go out there and pack up and you can move wherever you want, but he just didn't see it that way. He saw it as like, you know, my life sucks and this is the only thing I can do. But we see it, I do, and other RVers, we see it as, hey, this is a great life and we're choosing to do this. So I don't know. It is a, what's the word? It is a different perspective on things because there are a lot of people where they have no other options. So that's what that Safer Streets in LA program is designed to do. That's why I don't think that I would actually go in there with this and say I'm homeless. Hey, work on my rig. I mean, again, it might make for a funny video, but I think there are people that are out there that truly need those services you know more than me. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. What else? Anything else? I know we're all caught up here. We cheers. We're on starting hour number 2. Anything else that you guys want to talk about? Again, my time's your time on these things, but if we're all done, we're all done. I'm here. We're 8. No, it's 10 o'clock now in the East Coast and 7 in the West. So 8 o'clock here in Arizona. Actually, I'm technically in California, but I'm observing Arizona time. It's just easier that way. Oh, here comes a cat. Hi. All right. You caught her tail. All right. If nothing else, oh wait, here we go. A couple more. You get a chance to try local Maui, Hawaii distilled. My cousin just bought a place in Maui, and Maui is like my favorite place to go. Oh, I can get a Bevmo. It's okay. I'll go find it. I'll go find it in the Bevmo. But my cousin just bought a place in Maui, so maybe I'll have her swing by and pick it up. What is it? Maui, Hawaii distilled vodka. I'll have to write that one down. Thanks, Evelyn. So true. It's a life choice, but yes. Yeah, it's just perspective. It's a life choice. Yeah, you just have to, let's just get out there and have some fun. You just got to go out there and do it. There's Izzy. She doesn't know that you all are watching. That's why she's being all friendly. Recirculating shower system. Yes, I've seen those. Those would be awesome. I would absolutely do that. If I were designing my own rig, I would absolutely do that. She's looking and going, "Who are you talking to? There's no one here." I think she probably heard me talking. She was probably in the back and heard me talking and figuring someone's here because she goes and hides all the time. And she's like, "Wait, I don't hear another voice. Is he talking to himself again?" Ocean vodka. Okay, I'll take a look at it. I'm not a big vodka fan, but hey, give it a try. You never know. Like this tequila. Hold on. I have to sneeze. Oh, it's okay. No. All right. Anyone else have anything to questions? Going once? Yeah, she was a cutie when I got her. Now she's a little princess. Now she's a little entitled, spoiled. Oh, okay. So next up for me, I would love to coordinate a meetup if that's something that you guys want to do. Just put in the comments, drop a note or something like that. We'll just have to pick a date and a time that works for everyone. And not as do I post on Instagram? Not as much as I should. You know, as much as I'm doing social media and stuff, and I know that that's a thing, I just don't really post that much. I like to live in the moment, and then every once in a while I'll think back and it's like, oh, I should have posted that. I could probably go back and like do all that, but I do have the Instagram. It's called Claim the Vision. Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I think I made a whole 2 tweets in the last 6 months on Twitter. You can find me on Claim the Vision on all that, so you can find me there too. So, but YouTube is really the best way to do it. The comment sections, I try and respond to all of them. Email Stuart, Stuart, at claimthevision.com. I'm trying to, get all into that. There's a thing that I'm working on right now that will allow you to text me. It's this really cool texting program where I can, like just go back and forth, where you can do videos, answer questions or things in live time. I try to get back to people if you email or message on Facebook or whatever rather quickly. I'm always online. There's a lot of people that'll probably attest to the fact that I'll get back to people in an hour. So I'm happy to do that and get back to the text. It's just easier because I can multitask. But I do need to post on Instagram a little bit more. So thanks, Todd, for coming in and checking in. I appreciate that. Thanks, I appreciate it. Thanks for checking in again. I am trying to get to the East Coast this year. We'll see what that will really look like. Steve, thanks so much for checking in. I do like the vlogs as long as there's content to talk about. That I just don't want to put a video out just for the sake of putting a video out just to meet a quota, so to speak. Like if there's something that I think that there's value to, that would be fun to do. Yeah, I'll put out a video. So going forward, I don't want to say it would be daily, but I think I should do it more regularly, more than once a week. I mean that's for sure. So that's the same one. So, anyways, all right, let's call it a night, all right? Because I haven't had dinner yet. It's 8 o'clock. I'm going to go drink. And I'm going to go have dinner before I finish this tequila because it's starting to kick in. So, But let's do something fun. You know, feel free to reach out, call, well, not call or text yet, but I'm working on that. But email, message, comment. Like, I go through every single comment. I try to respond to every single one. So, all right. I guess that's it for the night. It's 8:11 here, 10:11 on the east, and 7:11 on the west. We're calling it a night. 2 hours and 11 minutes to go. All right. Good night, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in, and thanks so much for your support of Vloguary. Please be sure to tell your friends, like, and subscribe to Claim the Vision, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys. How do I end this? So many buttons.